welcome to 1199 SEIU. I'm Josh Harold. I'm the Regional Director of the 1199 SEIU Training and Employment Fund here in Maryland and DC. The Training and Employment Fund of DC region provides occupational and other training opportunities to healthcare workers and those career seekers interested in joining the industry, all in a welcoming and flexible environment that meets their professional and their personal needs. Additional benefits offered to 1199 members include continuing education and tuition assistance scholarship program. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mayor Scott for your vision and unprecedented appreciation that you're showing for the direct care workers in Baltimore that put their health and well-being on the line to serve their patients in their homes and in skilled nursing facilities during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd also like to thank the 1199 SEIU United Healthcare Workers East Union for working on this proposal with the training fund to assure that we're building a program that will serve those same workers in the most effective way. Healthcare has experienced shortages in specific roles for the past 10 plus years, and COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated these shortages with large numbers of workers leaving the industry out of fear for their health and well-being. We at the 1199 Training and Employment Fund understand those concerns and are dedicated to providing supports for those frontline workers, not only through occupational skills and certification training, but by equipping them with the tools to maintain their own mental and physical health. Again, we're very excited and proud to be a part of this initiative and know that it will be helpful and appreciated to the beneficiaries. I'd like to bring up Dante Marshall, VP of 1199 Long-Term Care. Dante?
Good afternoon. My name is Dante Marshall, and I am the Vice President of Long-Term Care Division of 1199 SEIU, Maryland, DC. As many people understand, the COVID-19 pandemic didn't create the issue we see in healthcare system today. Our members in nursing homes were working short-staffed before 2020. And there was a shortage of home care workers prior to 2020. But COVID-19 made the daily work for our caregivers so much harder. The GNAs in our nursing homes who were caring for COVID patients were getting sick themselves, bringing the virus back home to their family, and unfortunately, many died. Our union was driving across the state to facilities to deliver masks, hand sanitizers to our members. Meanwhile, many of these brave workers were using their own money to purchase cleaning supplies and PPE. These are workers who struggle to make ends meet, who have to figure out how to pay rent, utilities, and still put food on the tables for their family. Many struggled with their own healthcare costs, like prescription drugs. And still, they were going to the store themselves to purchase supplies while the supply chain broke down in long-term care facilities. And caregivers who was visiting people's homes were even more abandoned. They were the ones who were showing up at their clients' homes every day, taking care of them and keeping them safe. The caregivers who are here today can tell you how demanding this work is. GNAs and home care workers do this because they love the people they are taking care of, and for many, this is their mission. But no amount of dedication can overcome the low pay and terrible working conditions that many experienced. I want to thank Mayor Scott for including Baltimore City frontline caregivers in his plan to use ARPA dollars to make things better for our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Dante. We're going to have Rhonda White, a long-term care worker, come up.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rhonda White. I am a geriatric nursing assistant, certified medicine aide at a skilled nursing facility, and a 1199 SEIU delegate. I've been in nursing and home care for 26 years, starting out in the footsteps of my mother, who struggled to become a surgical technician herself eventually, I had to take care of my mother as a home care worker to keep her at home before she passed away. I remember working my job from 7 to 3 p.m. and coming home to care for my mom from 3 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next morning, and I didn't get a living wage or benefit like home care workers still don't get today. But I did as so many home care workers do, abiding by her wishes, caring for her, providing, and spending quality time with her. Healthcare workers are in this profession out of respect for our seniors and the knowledge that someday it could be us in the bed, disabled and needing someone by our side. But home care workers are not paid nearly enough for the sacrifice they make, even though there's a growing need for their work in Baltimore and across our state. As a 1199 SEIU delegate, I know that improving conditions in home care will take a long fight. It will take all healthcare workers coming together to demand respect, heard voice, and recognition for the work we do. That's why I could not more proud to see this movement take step forward today alongside Mayor Brandon Scott. Mayor Scott is proving his leadership, demonstrating that healthcare workers in our city have a path to greater respect, our voice heard, and a union in their future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rhonda, for sharing. I'd like to bring up Terry White. Terry? How is it pronounced? I'm sorry.
Tari.
Tari. I apologize, Tari.
Good afternoon. My name is Tari White. I have over 30 years of experience as a GNA, CNA, and about 8 years of healthcare worker. I'm here today because as a home care worker, the recognition, the benefits, the pay that I receive are not enough. While home care is fast-growing job position in U.S. today, in the next decade, home care will have the highest level of seniors, vacancies, and jobs because of the lower wages and the lack of benefits we receive. And during this time, the number of seniors is going to grow. And what I mean they're going to grow, I see it every day. I do healthcare and I do PRN as a GNA. I see it every day that our elderlies are being put into long-term nursing care. And it's not just for rehabilitation to go back home to their family, but they have to stay and we become their family. Because the majority of us do this out of the passion of our hearts. We just don't do it because of the wages, but the mass majority of us that became GNAs, CNAs, and healthcare workers because there was a passion, because we seen our loved ones being put in hospitals and wasn't being taken care of right, or seeing them in nursing homes and they wasn't being taken care of right. A lot of us stood in this pandemic, in this COVID pandemic, and we watched the nurses and the doctors get paid, but our wages wasn't going up. Half of us didn't get a thank you note for coming in doing 12-hour shift. Some of us didn't get a thank you note for saying thank you for taking care of your resident. Some of us didn't get a thank you note or any type of recognition to say, we are proud of you that you didn't walk away. But I'm greatly honored to stand here with a fruit of our healthcare workers and with y'all and with you, Mayor Brandon Scott. I'm getting a little teary-eyed because this is a passion for me. I want to thank you for having our backs and fighting for us. I want to thank y'all for having our backs, for fighting us. But I want to thank these young ladies. We are co-workers, we are sisters or brothers in this form of body, working together as one, on one accord, and in unity, and with a passion in our heart. I can't stand here and read all of this because this need to be heard. Healthcare workers, GNA and CNAs need a raise. And we're not talking about $15 or $16 because that won't make ends meet. I don't know about half of y'all, but I work 2, 3 other jobs to provide for my household. Some of us got knee replacement, side back nerve problems, carpal tunnel, because we still doing this work. Some of us don't get rest because we pull in 12-hour shifts or 16-hour shifts to make it throughout the month. Because there's food that needs to be paid for. There's electric, water bill, mortgage, or rent. And 15, 14, $16 not gonna cut it. We need a raise, and I'm asking y'all to continue to fight for us. Mayor Brandon Scott, please continue to fight for us. Amen.
Thank you so much, Tari. Talk about that dedication and the passion you have. Now I'd like to bring up Sharon Parker.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Parker. I live here in Baltimore and have been a home care worker for 10 years. But I've been caregiving for all of my life, for my nieces, nephews, as an early aunt, about around 14, 15. For my dad before he passed, and now for my 95-year-old mother, who have come to be with her caregiver for 24/7. You know, I was a caregiver back in Kentucky for 9 years. It was me, and I have 5 brothers. Of course, the sister's going to be the one that have to take care of the mom. You know, even though I only get a fraction of the money that my agency gets for my work, I do it all. Getting up when my mom does need her changing, her underwear or the bed, everything, because this work means giving back to what was given to me, giving my clients safety, stability, independence, and the ability to live longer lives in their homes, when otherwise they would be left behind with no one to care for them. I wish that more people would realize the work we do taking care of our elderly or disabled community members, our loved ones, and how little we are paid for it. Right now, so many of us are leaving the healthcare profession, even though there is a growing need for us because of our low wages. We are worth so much more. This $500 from Mayor Scott are a step towards recognizing that, especially when others professions in our city are seeing hiring bonuses, these funds will help keep more workers like me in home care. With the cost of living going up and up, I've fallen behind on my bills, even though I work day and night. The mayor funds will help me get back on track and feel like a sign of respect for me and for all of our home care workers in the city of Baltimore. I thank you, Mayor Scott, for this leadership and my fellow home care workers for standing together for the respect we deserve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sharon. So I talked about at the beginning how much we knew this would be appreciated. I think we definitely heard that. We heard the dedication. Give you an opportunity, Mayor Scott. Come on up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The truth is, everything that needs to be said has been said by these ladies behind me. But before I start, I'll just say the most important words you'll hear me say today. Thank you. Thank you for what you do each and every day to make sure that anybody that needs to be cared for is cared for, especially those who can no longer care for themselves. And we know one day all of us hope to grow to a age where we will have to depend on folks that do the work that you do each and every day. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of my union brothers and sisters in 1199. Every day for me that I get to stand alongside the working people that keep our city, state, and country running is a proud day for me. And all of you today had the opportunity to hear directly from our workers who took on some of the hardest jobs in our society and have been working hard at them throughout the duration of a global pandemic. I remember, actually, standing out on the corner of Hartford and Moravia as we were handing out PPE to some of our brothers and sisters who were going to do that work each and every day when none of us knew what the world was going to look like the next week, let alone the next year. These direct care workers risk their own lives to care for others. And you heard in their testimony just how difficult it has been. All of them know coworkers and friends that they lost in top of family members throughout the pandemic. And not many people I know, but as you know, I was a union member, and I come from a union family who were also essential workers throughout the pandemic. A lot of people got to stay at home. A lot of people got to take off and still get paid. These folks did not. And while some folks have now moved on from the phase where we're calling them heroes, they were heroes before, during, and now after the pandemic, and will continue to do that. So many of our union members across the country and right here in Charm City continue to do that work. These workers here with us today took on the burden of providing health care and companionship under some of the most dangerous possible conditions that we've ever seen. I know for a fact that many of them got sick themselves. We know we lost members, but they continued their commitment to their work anyway. And they did it all while being extremely overworked and extremely underpaid. There are so many families across Baltimore and across the world who rely on the efforts of these workers and their counterparts. Whether they are performing in-home care, working in nursing homes or long-term care facilities, we all owe these workers a debt of gratitude that cannot possibly be paid. But we'll start today with just a round of applause to them all. And while we cannot repay that debt in one swoop, and we have a long, long way to go, today we're announcing a relief program that at least starts to show our gratitude and support these workers. We're here to present a $2 million grant funded by ARPA dollars that is going directly to these workers and their fellow 1199 SEIU members. These relief funds are meant to make it just a little easier for these workers who laid down their lives to keep the direct care economy and jobs working. This, of course, would have not been possible without our fantastic federal partners, the best congressional delegation that Mayor could ask for. Man, please let Senator Van Hollen know again that we're very thankful. And, of course, to our President Biden, and our Vice President, who all saw it fit to give Baltimore $641 million of ARPA dollars. And we are spending that money right exactly where it should be. In the hands of the people, in the hands of the community, the folks who deserve to have that investment in them because they've invested so much into us and our community. There is no salary in the world that can adequately match the effort that they make for their patients and clients each day. And it's impossible to ignore how much these SEIU members pour themselves into that work and how meaningful they find it. You heard that from them directly today. But my hope is that this $2 million grant for relief funds would at least make a difference for some of our workers and their own families, and allow it to be a starting point for us to continue to evolve how we value and pay these workers. Because as I always say, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, one job should be enough. So let's give it up to these members again, and thank you for what you do each and every day. I've always wanted to do this, so I'm going to see how ready we are. I'm going to say something and see what y'all say back. 1-1? Oh, we ready. Let's go.